So after 3 days of this test match, Australia are closing in on victory with England 134 for 6. Stokes and Jacks are at the crease, with England losing 6 wickets under the lights in that final session after they made a good start to their second innings. 45 for no wicket in a small session just before the second break of the day. But after that, Australia continued their dominance, and they batted so well and so sensibly and so carefully in the first part of the day, taking their first innings score to 511. Mitchell Starc, their leading scorer, with 77 off 141 balls, and he got really good support, well, from everyone really, because all the Australia players made it to double figures. Scott Boland, 21 not out from 72 balls. He hung in there and he just extended Australia's first innings, and it meant that when England came out to bat, they were batting under lights. That was the plan. They executed it superbly, and even Brendan Doggett in at number 11 hung around for 13. Brydon Cast at 4 for 152. Ben Stokes 3 for 113. But England looked like a beaten side. I've got Michael Vaughan with me. I've got Jonathan Agnew with me. Glenn McGrath is here. First to you, Michael. Well, sum up that day. How did you see it?
Australia have given England a lesson in how to play Test cricket, and particularly pink ball Test cricket. This morning, with the afternoon session, when Australia went out to bat, it was very clear that we were just batting for time, just batting for real attritional time, making sure that they took the game a little bit deeper. Mitchell Starc played great, ducked and weaved, kind of rotated the strike. Scott Boland comes out there and just blocks it, knowing that they wanted to get to this stage of getting the pink ball with the twilight and then into the last session. So brilliant from Australia. England's tactics weren't quite right, didn't quite get it right when to bring the fielders in, when to kind of spread the field. The batting, they've had some good balls. Ben Duckett got a beauty one that kept low. Joe Root looked a little bit jaded, understandably. Harry Brook got a good ball. The 2 dismissals of Ollie Pope and Zach Crawley, I think as commentators and pundits and broadcasters, it's so easy to kind of be a pundit against them, because you can just watch it and see it and you go, it's going to happen. You know, Neeks is going to bowl length just outside of off stump. Boland's going to bowl length just outside of off stump. Stark's just going to dangle the carrot, and guess what they're going to try and do? They're going to try and play big drives through the offside, and both of them to fall to the same stroke back to the same bowler in the space of not a great deal of time. And when you look to what Australia did with the bat in hand in the afternoon session and into that middle session, dig in, bat for time, and that's exactly what that pair needed to do. Just bat till the close of play. Look, they're a long way behind, but just give yourself a glimmer tomorrow. You just never know. But this one way of playing and this ultra-aggressive drive on the up at all costs when the ball's just doing a little bit, it doesn't work. It doesn't work consistently against the better sides, and Australia have given England an exhibition today of how to play the pink ball game.
Yeah, they suddenly went from 90 for 1 to 97 for 3. They're under so much pressure. Jonathan?
Well, I think Michael was right first time before he corrected himself to pink ball. I think they've given themselves a lesson how to play Test cricket, actually. You have to be flexible, you have to think, you have to have common sense, you have to change the way that you play session by session sometimes. And so I think, pink ball or red ball, I think, has got an object lesson today in intelligent cricket.
You could throw in the white ball game at the minute, actually, with England in the last year, because they haven't played sensible white ball cricket for a while.
I think they've just been given an object lesson in what they should be doing, and it's just incredibly deflating, disappointing to sit and watch England making the same mistakes. And you're right, Michael. You could predict entirely how certain players are going to get out. That's what's disappointing, and that those players don't seem to be learning. And I was saying at breakfast today to whoever was gathered round, I was probably boring to death about it, but the fact is that none of these players are being put under any pressure by anybody else in the squad. There is no culpability. There is no ramification. There's no question of anybody being dropped, apart from Pope, who's got sort of Bethel in the wings. He's not scoring any runs either. There's nobody else. There's nobody to put pressure on any of these players. So you just go out and bat as you want to play. I mean, there should be a system. There should be a selection in which these players are being put under pressure. And if you fail time and again doing the same thing, you're gone. Sorry, you have to. You're dropped.
They haven't had quite the status of what they've had in the last 2 weeks, which has been a bit of humiliation. They were humiliated in that second day in Perth, and today and yesterday, Australia have just dominated 2 days of cricket. From England having a decent day on day one, where we all got a bit excited, within 2 days, Australia have gone, okay, we'll show you how to bat in Test match cricket, and then we'll show you how to bowl. And we must remember that this England side and the players that you talk about, John, they've been picked consistently because they've played the style of cricket, but they've never been in this situation where they've gone 2-0 down really badly. In 2023, it was at the start of the journey. It was almost like a three-hitter mulligan in 23 because it was just starting, it was fresh, and everyone's excited. Now we've seen it, and England have had 4 years to plan for this. This is what they've been planning for with their bowling attack, with their batting unit. They've stuck with certain players because they felt that in Australian conditions they were going to be able to get away with the way that they played. Well, so far inside 5 days of Ashes Test match cricket here in Australia, I'm afraid it's not looking great for a few of the players, and as Jonathan says, there's no spare keeper. So Jamie Smith, I think, is a wonderful talent, but he's struggling. And I start to look at Ben Duckett, who looks scratchy. He's starting to look a little bit edgy at the top. You've got Ollie Pope, who is all over the place once again, and you can't just keep dipping into Joe Root's well. You can't keep saying, go on, Joe, go and get us another 100, because it's just not possible. And, look at Harry Brook today. I thought he tried today. He tried to play, and then he gets a good ball. So that's fine. That happens in Test match cricket. But I really worry about the psychological damage that these last 2 days will not only have done for the batters, but in particular the bowlers that have had so much time out there. It just didn't look like they were going to get wickets.
But can they keep going out and playing the same way, Michael?
No, they're going to get hammered.
Well, exactly. So surely there has to be a rethink of the way that they go. But
if you look at Joe Root's our greatest player. You tell me in the system when they pick teams, which kind of player have they picked that you go, that'll player. Most of the players that they pick, whether it's for the Lions or particularly in the England squad, they like dashers. They like players that can get on with it. Run towards the danger, put the bowler under pressure at all costs. In my time, I'm not saying that they want to go the ultra attritional ways. Putting the bowler under pressure is sometimes seeing the bowler off. That's absorbing pressure, not by hitting them to the boundary and dancing down and whacking it over extra. I can only imagine what Glenn McGrath would have liked to bowl to this England side. Just dangle the carrot. It's just not possible to play this style of cricket against quality bowl. And let's just mention, this Australian team have got over 1,000 wickets not playing. This is their second string.
It is absolutely second string. Yeah.
Glenn, is this an easy England side to outmanoeuvre?
I look at it from two different angles here. I agree with everything that's been said here. The style of play, I love seeing sports people go out and play without fear. But when you're trying to get rid of pressure, you've got to absorb and play under pressure, and there's got to be accountability. Accountability from team, from the support staff, the coaching staff, but accountability from yourself and from within the team. And that's where I think it's a little bit lacking. They go out, there's no negativity. So that, firstly, I'm not a big fan of, and sort of they need to adapt and adjust to the conditions. That was the first thing. You've mentioned best opportunity to beat Australia, the first test. All of a sudden you come here, 3 of the main bowlers aren't even bowled. Oh, best opportunity, and yet they're so far behind. But what this test showed is their inexperience in playing pink ball cricket, day-night cricket. Day one, in that last session, I think it was probably worked in Australia's favour that Jofra Archer didn't get out. They got 60 runs, probably more than what Australia wanted, but it meant the Australian batsmen didn't have to go out and bat a nasty half-an-hour session or more in those conditions. Could have easily lost 2 or 3 wickets, and all of a sudden Australia's under the pump. And today, the intensity when England bowled, there was no intensity. Mitchell Stark's batting, they've got guys back on the boundary. They didn't realise how important to get those last few wickets as early as possible. They had to knock them over before that first break. If they did that, then the pink ball gets older and you get into that night session, which we saw tonight. It's softer. It's not doing as much. It's not quite as effective. So the intensity they showed to take those especially the last 2 wickets, was missing. So there's a lot of issues. You can keep saying, this is the style we play. We're changing Test cricket. How good are we? But it'll come down to the results on the board. And if England lose this Test match and they go 2-0 down, it's a long way back. This series could be quite easily finished, and then they're going to have to look at themselves. There are going to be some changes, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here.
How well did Australia bowl in that session under lights?
No, they bowled well. They came out, even before that last session, it looked a little bit easier. It was coming on nicely, but that pink ball, you have to get the lacquer off. Then it starts doing a little bit. But then when they came out after that final session, it's dark. It's just about hitting good areas. There's enough inconsistency in that pitch. We saw the way, Duckett was unlucky. That one kept low. Crawley and Pope, the way they got off those ball, just holding in the pitch. Just a little bit too paced. It's a little bit up and down. There's a little bit more movement than what we've seen this whole test under lights with the newer ball. So Australia bowled well. They kept it simple. They bowled to a plan. They bowled to the conditions, and it's paid off for them.
Well, there used to be something called a Duncan Day when England had a bad day, and Duncan Fletcher was the coach, so he was wheeled out. It's a Marcus Day. Today, Marcus Trescothick.
A Tres Day.
Yeah, Tres Day. Yeah, he's the England assistant coach, and he's been speaking with Henry Moran.
How do you sum up the situation?
Not ideal, was it? We're in a bit of a predicament, really. We've got to find a way in the morning to come out strong and get a partnership going. Obviously, hopefully, while the sun's out, and try and utilise as much as we can with the guys who are left in the shed. So, get up to level with their total, and then see what we can post to obviously try and get ourselves in a position to try and win the game.
There was quite some bafflement from many about England's bowling tactics today. Can you talk us through the plans?
The plans are simple, aren't they? I think whether we executed the plans in terms of what we wanted to do, probably not as much as we have done in other games and in other sessions or other series that we've played. So, it's something that we can always improve on and obviously be better. Plans are very different compared to how you execute them. So if you don't hit the areas that you need to hit, then of course, obviously it makes it quite challenging.
That partnership between Scott Boland and Mitchell Starc particularly was challenging. How does the team rise itself in that situation? Because it felt like the game and the deflation at that point was significant.
Yeah, that's tough. When they get partnerships going, obviously you're in the heat and they're starting to get ahead of the game. Of course, that's really tough. The bowlers are getting tired. The ball's quite soft at that point. It's tough, that is challenging. Obviously they played really well and put themselves in a position of strength really going into our second innings, and of course something that we can try and emulate as much as we can do whenever we play against them, or learn from what they tried to do. So a couple of their guys played well, they got good partnerships. We maybe didn't bowl quite as well as we needed to, and we're in the position we are.
You speak about learning, but it feels as though there's some familiar dismissals, chasing wide deliveries, 2 caught and bowls as well. What do you put it down to?
I don't think really chasing many wide ones today. I think, I thought they bowled well and we nicked a couple of balls, and it is what it is. But, our game is very much like we're trying to apply pressure to opposition. There's no doubt about that. And we do it well at times. And other times, when it comes off in the wrong way and it goes against us, then of course it's challenging. But caught and bowls happen. I don't think there's another way you can say, right, that's part of bad play or bad sort of technique or what you're trying to do. I think it's just sometimes they do happen. We've had a couple in this game and one obviously in the last game. But we can always be better. We can always improve our style of play and be smarter at different times, different occasions, and we're always looking to do that.
This always felt as though this was going to be, if you like, the project big test, this tour. We're barely 5 days in and there's problems. What do you put it down to?
Well, we've just not been good enough for long enough probably in different areas. We need to score more runs, we need to take more wickets, as simple as that. Be disciplined when we bowl, be disciplined when we bat, all the different things that come along in different games of cricket. The pitch at Perth was very different to what we had here. Took one very special innings from the opposition to challenge and win the game that they did, and obviously here we thought we had a good total, just probably didn't quite get things right going into it in the last couple of days.
And just finally, preparation has been a word that has been discussed an awful lot, and a lot of practice in the nets, a lot of time facing pink balls, if you like, in that situation is one thing, but it is another thing being out in the middle and the effort and the time and those hours upon hours of intense cricket out in the middle. Is that a worry that England haven't had that much of it coming into this series?
No, not at all. Not for me. I think the way that it's done, preparation nowadays is not done necessarily by playing three shield games as it would be here, like going back in the years gone before. Tours are a lot more condensed. Cricket is a lot more condensed nowadays. It's the same when Australia come to England. It's the same when India go to England. It's when we go to opposition countries. We do exactly the same. So there's no real difference. It's just the way it is. Fair enough. We haven't played obviously the quality of cricket we wanted to, but it's not down to our preparation.
And what would you say to England fans who are understandably disappointed?
Oh, listen, I think, great support again. We've really cherished, obviously, the support that they come with and obviously give us as much as they can. We've been put on the back foot and we haven't quite managed to sort of be the way we needed to be. And we've done it well in different stages, but just probably not for long enough. So stick with it, keep enjoying it. Obviously, it's a great country and they, love their cricket here. The atmosphere has been amazing. Hopefully we can sort of, make it better and be better in the next couple of games and tomorrow.
Marcus, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Marcus Trescothick, the England assistant coach, speaking to Henry Moran. Just something there that just picked up, just a small phrase. We thought we had a good score on the first day. Did you think that, Michael?
Well, I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. I heard that England thought they had a good score in Perth as well to defend. Well, you've never got enough in Australia. I sometimes listen to a lot of the kind of messaging from within the England camp, and I'm baffled. I mean, clearly you've got to come out and be positive. Clearly you've got to come out and protect everything that's happened. There's no way in a million years that preparation's been right. There's no way in a million years that not playing games of cricket has been the right thing to prepare to play against this Australian side with the pink ball.
Especially in the pink ball.
Especially with the pink ball. It just can't be right that you've got players that are playing their first ever pink ball game in an Ashes series when you're 1-0 down away in Australia. That just can't be right. There's a lot of messaging from within the England camp of positivity, and I think that's the kind of vibe that they have around the group. They need a bit of realism. They need a little bit of sense that someone might just be able to say to them, look, everything that you're doing is not always right. It's not always right. I never knew that we got preparation right. I never knew that we'd pick the right team, and I don't think they've got the selections wrong, but it's impossible, and I heard it before this game, saying, our preparation's fine, it's perfect. No, it's not. It can't be perfect. You're absolutely getting hammered. And you've got players who are out there who are looking completely shell-shocked against the pink ball because they're playing against it for the first time, dropping catches because you haven't been out in the field facing the pink ball. So don't tell me that the preparation is spot on and perfect. It can't be, because you're just about to go 2-0 down in an Ashes series. So I do get a bit worried that the messaging always has to be positive, and it always has to be, we're right, we're right. None of us are always right.
Do you think that's just public facing, though, that internally there is some criticism?
No, I think that's what they believe. I think they've got everything spot on and they're doing everything correctly. Look, if they're doing everything correctly, we're about to go 2-0 down in the space of pretty much 3 days of Ashes cricket and 2 days in Perth. I think we've got big concerns.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a horrible job to come out and try and defend the indefensible, but preparation, and the question of preparation has become just like don't mention the war, isn't it? I mean, it sort of lights a flare up as soon as preparation's mentioned. They're clearly absolutely determined that they are not going to give an inch as far as the debate about preparation is concerned. That was the most robust answer that he gave. Nothing wrong with our preparation. Well, yeah, the results will speak for themselves. Yeah. The other thing, by the way, he said, look, Henry said, look, what's been going wrong? Well, we haven't been scoring enough runs. We haven't been taking enough wickets. All he didn't mention there is we've been dropping too many catches. I mean, if he would have the whole lot, and that would be an accurate reflection on what's gone wrong.
And I totally get that you're not going to play 3 games. I certainly don't want them to play 3 games.
Nobody's ever suggested playing 3 games.
Booking the WACA the week before the first test in Perth, like India did, I think that's a mistake that England didn't book the WACA. Just, if you can only have a game amongst yourselves, at least practice on a pitch that bounces. In between the first game and the second game, if you're not going to go to Canberra and play a 2-ball pink ball game because of the weather and the conditions, couldn't they have organised one here in Brisbane? So you play a 2-ball pink ball game in Brisbane conditions. I mean, is that not sensible?
The point about preparation also, and the answers to it, if you ask me, is because the ramifications of admitting that they got it wrong is pretty serious for a number of that coaching staff. If they say, yep, we got it wrong, and we're losing the Ashes and so on because we didn't prepare properly, we didn't do it properly, we didn't put the structure in place to prepare properly, they can't admit it. I mean, the review will come afterwards and decisions will be made.
And also, Agus, you can't say, India do this, or Australia do.
No.
It's about this toolbox that England have. And I hope they've given this set of players the best opportunity, and they've got all the talent. And we've all said, we think this is the best England side that's come to Australia with the right tools to be successful. If they've looked themselves in the mirror and say to themselves, we've given this team the absolute best chance to be successful here in Australia, in the first game in Perth, and now the second game with the pink ball here in Brisbane, and they get a message back saying, yeah, we've been spot on. I'd be wary if that's the answer.
Glenn, just from an Australian perspective, I mean, do you think that, this Australian side have surprised you a bit than what they've been able to achieve in the first two games? They've had players missing. England came here seemingly confident. They have been winning series. They have been winning matches. They have been playing in this particular way. How do you think we assess that? From Australia, what you expected from them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that surprised me is the way they've come out and batted. From the first innings, they looked timid. They looked defensive. They were trying to survive with the bat. They weren't looking to put the put the pressure back on the bowling attack. But the way they came out and batted in that second innings, the fact that Travis Head put his hand up and said, I want to open and I will take the first ball. And he was adamant that's what he wanted. I've heard that's what he wanted back when Steve Smith was promoted to opening. So this is what he wanted. And that intensity has changed from that moment. The scoring rates that the Australians have done or did in Perth and have done here, that surprised me because they haven't been scoring at those rates previously. And whether that's because Travis Head's come at the top and it's had that sort of positive impact on the rest of their batsmen, they go out and they back themselves and play their shots more, bat positively, play to their strengths, wait for the balls to play the shots too. Fair enough, England bowlers have given them plenty of balls to play those shots too. So the intensity of the batting and the positivity of their batting has surprised me a little bit. There's been a lot of talk that this was England's best chance in Perth, and it was. And then again here, it was. And they've been found wanting in both times. The game's not over. Australia went in to today's play 6 wickets down, and they batted nearly right the way through to tea. So it can be done with the right, attitude out there, right game plan, prepared to work hard. We'll see what happens tomorrow. If England lose a couple of quick wickets, this could be over, could lose by an innings. But you've got to think this, it's not over until that last wicket's taken, that last run scored.
Yeah, true. You're still in the game with your 5-0, aren't you?
Well, still in the game, yeah. Yeah, but I'm adaptable, so if something happened and Australia lost the game, I could be adaptable and flexible and work my new prediction. But at the moment, it's still a chance. And I don't know if it's a funny thing, but after Perth, walking around, all the English fans, everyone was coming up, oh, your prediction's going to be right. Oh, it's 5-0, it's 5. And now at breakfast here, tomorrow morning or after, it'll be exactly the same. Oh, Glenn, your prediction 5-0 is going to be right. So I don't know if it's just the English mentality or attitude, but yeah, it's still, Australia showed, how you have to apply yourself. And this pitch will be different tomorrow morning to what it is now. They're going to have to work hard. They're big, responsibility on Stokes, which, there's no better man for it. And Jacks has to get out there and do it too. So it's they've got a big battle in front of them tomorrow morning, but they have to show some fight. If they just lose these 4 wickets, go out with a whimper, then the series is done.
Now, Michael Neser joined this Australian side for this test match, and he picked up 2 valuable wickets tonight, both caught and bowled, and he's been speaking to Corbin Middlemass and our colleagues on ABC Radio.
Michael, first of all, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
So you get 2 wickets, the first of them caught and bowled, Ollie Pope out, and essentially up until stumps, England lost 5 for 44 from that particular stage. How did you do it?
Yeah, I know. We just seem to get wickets at the right time, especially at night time. Things to move real fast. And Starkey put on a show there then, and supported by Bowen, who bowled fantastically.
You bowled fantastically too. You're able to get 2 wickets, both caught and bowled. I think Rick Finlay did the stats for us during the night. You haven't got too many caught and bowled, have you, in your career? And yet you were able to pick up a couple there at test level as a way to get involved in the match.
Yeah, I dropped that first one and I was like, bugger, I better catch the next 2. But yeah, I haven't got too many. But the way I was bowling stump to stump is I'm always in for a chance for a caught and bowled, so I was looking for it.
And just on that one, you mentioned the drop catch. You looked at your left hand a lot after that. Did you cop any injury as a result of it?
Yeah, my track record with broken fingers isn't great, so it's a little bit sore, but it'll be all right.
Wow. So is it broken?
No, it'll be all right.
No, it'll be all right.
Ness, what were the discussions at tea, mate? Because obviously you and Starkey took the new ball for that little period before tea. They got off to a little bit of a fly. Was there an adjustment there or a discussion in the change rooms?
Yeah, definitely. We probably went searching a bit too much, a bit full, try to do a bit too much. We know if we just hold our length, they'll come at us and give us the chances. So after tea, we recouped, and I think we did that well. We just held our length and we went back to Test cricket of being patient.
And is there enough on that length that you talk about to just in that particular last session under the lights?
100%. It seems to do nothing, and all of a sudden you get enough balls in the right area, it seems to either jag or kick. We saw Bowen at the end there, just got the ball to talk, and so did Starkey.
And then conversely, in the morning session, or the first session, 2 o'clock, it seems to be a little bit slower.
Yeah, definitely. I think also we started with that softer ball. The harder ball seems to kick a little bit, but not as much as the nighttime. So you definitely have to capitalise on these night sessions.
The heat, obviously, during the day, so it felt like you guys did a great job at being able to avoid as much time out there as possible. And Mitchell Stark in particular, boy, didn't he bat well?
Yeah, that was the whole plan today, was try to keep them out as long as possible. Get into that night session with the harder ball, and he did a fantastic job on that. Patience, and then supported by Bowen, who did, I think, underrated how well he went. The role he played was fantastic.
Sorry, mate. And the batting wise, I mean, obviously you took him on a bit yesterday or last night. Was that a plan or just happened like that?
It just happened. I know for myself, I got to look to be positive, not reckless, but positive, because that gets me in better positions for defence. I think Kez is very the same mould.
Yeah, you're both mad. Anyway, more importantly, how are the twins?
Yeah, they're making me mad.
How old are they?
They're 2 now, and my eldest is 4. He's in the crowd. He's wide awake still, so he's going to be a gremlin tomorrow morning. Lucky I don't have to deal with that.
Michael Neser speaking after his 2 wickets to the ABC commentary team, into the team for this match. Just picking up something he said there, that we know that, if our plans go a bit awry, we just go back to the plan. We kind of just bowl that length, and we know they'll come at us and give us an opportunity. It's so straightforward. They know it, and it kind of sometimes feels as if England don't know it, and they fall into the trap so easily. Andy Zaltzman is with me. Australia's innings was curious. They executed their plan perfectly today, and Michael Neser saying it there, that they had that plan to bat well into the afternoon. They executed it perfectly, but it was a curious Australian innings. Everyone made double figures. No one made more than 77, and yet they made 511. They all say, if you get in, go big. Well, none of the Australian players did go big, but collectively they did.
Yes, and you compare it with England's first innings. The number of failures they had, 4 ducks, and I think 3 more scores under 20, whereas Australia, looking down their scores, 33, 72, 65, 61, 45, 63, 23, 16, 77, 21 not out, and 13. It's a unique scorecard in that there's never been a test innings in which all 11 players have made at least 13. It's a bit of a niche stat. If Doggett had made 15, it would have been neater, but still that shows quite how unusual this is. Only the second time that a team has made 500 without someone scoring at least 80. And there were no 100 partnerships as well, only the 4th innings in Test history in which a team scored 500 without a single 100 stand.
What else caught your eye today?
Well, from England's point of view, more disappointment with the bat. Ollie Pope, it's his 14th innings against Australia, still waiting for his first 50. Only 2 specialist batters in English history have ever started their Ashes career with more innings without reaching 50 at least once. Graham Gooch also didn't score a 50 in his first 14 innings, and the things picked up for him after that, although his Ashes record wasn't as good as the rest of his career. But it's becoming a significant problem for England. Jamie Smith's recent form, 79 runs in his last 8 innings. He'd averaged 58 in his first 21 before that. A brilliant start to his career. Zach Crawley, yet more unconverted start since his 189 at Old Trafford. I'll make that the 14th time he's reached 40. Only 100, that was against Zimbabwe, and one other score over 80. So it's been just the same problems keep recurring, the same sorts of shots, and Mitchell Starc once again having an incredible impact on this series. 77 with the bat to add to his 6 for 75. In the history of Ashes cricket, only 3 other players, all Australians, have had a first innings fifer and a first innings score over 75, and the most recent of those was in 1963. So, and he's added 2 more wickets to his tally. So he's now 18 for the series, the most in the first 2 tests of an Ashes since Shane Warne had 20 after 2 tests in the 1994-95 series. If he picks up another couple, he's going to be very near the top of the all-time list. Most wickets in the first 2 tests of an Ashes. 2 more will be the most by a seamer at this stage of an Ashes since 1953.